Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope y'all had a great weekend. I had a pretty good weekend, all things considered. Um, Worked way harder than I wanted to Saturday. And it's not that it was that I worked that long, it's just that what I was doing was, well, let's just say I'm too old for some things I used to do. And sometimes I forget that. I go ahead and do them and I'm like, holy crap, I need to. Mm. Anyway, really hot Saturday. Got up into the 80s. I was hoping I could wait until after April 1st to turn the air conditioning on, but I come in, I was drenched. The humidity was real high. Jack was panting around. It was pretty warm here in here. So I broke down and I turned the air conditioner on. And then guess what? Old Man Winter shows back up. Yesterday about 12:30 started raining. Right after that, cool front moved in behind it. It got down to like 44. Well, I don't know exactly what it was. Alexa said it was 44 when I asked her this morning. And there she goes yakking. I swear I can't say that even way in here and she hears it. She's still yakking. All right, let's see who we got hanging out with us today. Looks like we got a pretty good crowd here for a Monday. We have Mr. Mike Reynolds. Says, good morning, everybody. Chilly 37 here in Central Bluegrass. Yeah, that's pretty cold. Clyde's here. Good morning, Clyde. Mr. Kevin Ailes is here. How you doing, Kevin? Jesse from JJ Woodshop. Good morning, sir. Paul Stewart is here. Jesse says, I asked my wife where my coffee was. She says the coffee sessions hadn't started yet. Ah, she knows you, Jesse. Janet's here. Let's see. She says, good morning. Anybody watch them race on the dirt today? Are they racing? Is it today? I thought they were supposed to race yesterday, but I don't know. I didn't watch it. Or maybe they got rained out or something. I don't know. That might have been what happened. But not, if you're asking me and they're on today, no, I probably won't bother watching them. Probably will not. And I have been trying to follow NASCAR a little bit this year, but Bristol and dirt, I don't know about that. Mr. Bill Hoffman's here. He says, good morning, all sunny and 28 degrees this morning in Southwest Indiana. Man, that's cold. That is cold. There's Gary Hammond. How you doing, Gary? Hope all is well up there in your neck of the woods. Doug says, mud. Okay. That's what it's going to end up being. Eddie Miller's here. Good morning, sir. Doug says, good morning, all. Spring break. Yeah, I'm on it too. kind of. Mark Bixel's here this morning. My buddy Jim Senecola. How you doing, Jim? Hope all is well up there in Michigan. David Burnett's here. Says beautiful day in the Ozarks. Tell her. Well, I'm not even going to say that out loud because she'll hear me again. Yeah. See, all I have to do is just, like, if I'm talking to you guys and I just say the ALEXA word, for some reason, this one back here can hear it. And it's clear in the other room. She got some pretty good ears, I guess. Bruce Foley's here this morning. How you doing, Bruce? Okay. Clyde says yesterday it was raining. See, Clyde, you're on the ball. I didn't even know. I flipped it over because I think it's all supposed to be on Fox Network or whatever. And I flipped over there one time and they had something totally different on. And I'm like, okay, I guess they're not covering it. So Okay, Jan says was rained out. All right, well that makes sense because they probably got the same rain that was part of what I got yesterday. 32 where Clyde's at. NASCAR trying to get the fans back. Yeah. Well, they've been trying for a long time to run them off, so they're gonna have to do something. I have tried to just mainly because there's absolutely nothing else to watch. I've tried to follow them a little bit here this year. I think I've watched pretty much every race, or at least bits and pieces of every race, uh, up till Bristol. And like I said, I'm really too busy. I don't have time to watch it today. I got too much stuff to do. Um, but I still don't like their, first stage, second stage, all that crap. That's just stupid. Just stupid. Some of the stuff. If they want to get the fans back, all they got to need to do is go back and dig up the old rule book from about, I don't know, 19, at least 1980 or maybe even before that, and switch everything back to like that, and then they get their fans back. But they're not smart enough to do that, I don't think. Just saying. Earl Walker's here this morning. How you doing, Earl? Gary says, yeah, a little bad weather Saturday night, but not as bad as Thursday. Yeah, you guys been catching it up there. I mean, I've been lucky because by the time it gets down here, and of course, Noonan oh man, it tore up Noonan. And that's not really all that far away from here. And I think Noonan, when you look at the map, it's almost due west of me. And I saw a thing on Facebook this morning where they said the report, and I don't really know how they figure this stuff out, but they said that the tornado was like an EF4 or something. Just really, I think there's only one notch above that. And but anyway, they said it had been on the ground for like 38 miles or something like that. So that's crazy. That is crazy. Doc Whitaker's here this morning. How you doing, Doc? The race will be on today on Fox at 4 p.m. Okay, well, I might tune in just to see what a cluster it is. I don't know. Hey, there's old Jim Jones. Run what you brung. There you go. That's the way it should be. Yeah. Yeah, I just wish they'd go back, but they never do. Nothing. It's all progress they call it, and nobody ever goes back. Nobody ever looks back and goes, well, you know what? We were a lot more popular back then. I watched the race the other weekend in Atlanta. Which is right down the road from me a little bit. It's in Hampton. It's not really in Atlanta like a lot of people think it is. It's Atlanta Motor Speedway, but it's in Hampton. And for me, I've been to that track many, many times. Watched, spring races, fall races. Watched Jeff Gordon win a couple of championships there at that track. It's just a cool place. Been there lots of times. But it's really, I don't know, it's kind of sad for me to watch that track because as the camera guys, they try to be slick and not show the stuff they don't want you to show. But man, back in the day, and they talk about how old that track surface is at Atlanta. And it's one of the old, they hadn't repaved that thing in a long time. But I can remember back when it used to just be a oval shape, no little tri-oval dogleg thing, just a straight oval shape. And then I can't remember exactly what year it was, but they changed it and they made it more like the cookie cutter things. They made it more like Charlotte, and and Texas is very similar, and I think Vegas is pretty similar. So they reconfigured it, and when they did, they flipped it around. In other words, what used to be the back stretch then became the front stretch. Dadgum telemarketers, I swear. He just make me so mad. Anyway, so they flipped it around. But back then, and I don't know how many years ago it's been because they've been slowly taking them down. But back then, you had the main grandstands, which I forget what they called them. I think it was I'll probably get it wrong, but there used to be stands. They would name them after famous drivers. So I think they had the petty stands that I believe was on turn 4. And then, and then it come around a little bit, and then you'd have the whole stretch down where the start finish line is and well past a bit. So you'd have the main grandstands there. And then on the backside, you had grandstands that ran all the way down. And they weren't as tall as on the other side, but you had grandstands all down the backstretch. And then in turn 3, you had, I think that was the Bill Elliott grandstands. And now you look at it, and they've the stands in the backstretch, they've been gone for a long time. They pull motorhomes and stuff up there, but so when they started going downhill and they quit, they didn't like showing them stands being empty, so they just said, well, we'll just take them down. So they took them down. Then I don't know how long the turn 3, the Bill Elliott stands. I'm pretty sure that's what turn 3 was. They've been gone probably a while too. I don't know. I just happened to notice it because I haven't really been watching them since I started watching this year. And I thought, man, that's a lot of folks and I mean, they used to fill them up. I mean, elbow to elbow, all the way around that thing. And yeah, let's see here. I'm missing some stuff here. My favorite solar man snuck in here. Morning, Ryan. Ned Jarrett and Benny Parsons calling the race on TNN, throw in a little Buddy Baker and all. Yeah, they were way better than the guys they got now. Clyde says they also changed start finish. Yeah, they flipped it, and the backstretch became the front stretch, and then they made it into a trioval, or not, what do you call it? Trioval, dog leg, whatever. Like Charlotte. Basically, it's a cookie cutter track like Charlotte, 1.5 miles. And yeah, it's a good track, but man, it's just sad because they don't have half as many stands. And of course, now they won't even let you fill them up. So just silly, I think. Jim Jones says 96 last race at old Atlanta track. I was there. Oh, okay. All righty. I know that some people may not know this, but the very first race that Jeff Gordon never run in was also Richard Petty's last race, and that is the 92 race at Atlanta. Richard Petty did his little retirement thing. His car was all beat up. He was already out of the race, but he got back out there and did a lap because he was retiring. And then that was Jeff Gordon back when he had that little cheesy mustache. It was his first Winston Cup back then when they called it Winston Cup. It was his first race. Sad they outpriced themselves for a lot of us. Yeah. And I wasn't a diehard fan that was like going to follow them around to a lot of different tracks, but I did like to go to Talladega. And I remember I paid as much as $120 a ticket at Talladega. And that was still pretty high up. it wasn't, which is probably a good thing to be high up at Talladega, because when you're up high, you can, and Talladega's another one. They used to have stands all down the backstretch. They're gone. They're gone. But yeah, it's a shame to watch a sport that's so popular, and it's funny because if you're a good NASCAR fan, you can easily see what they're doing wrong to lose fans, but they won't listen. It's like, nah, we're going to do this. Whatever. Oh, enough about NASCAR. I got this in the mail the other day. I think this is my, well, in layman's terms, I guess it's my old fart manual. Haven't cracked it open and read it yet. I do see one thing I like, they do have the print fairly big, which is good. But yeah, I guess I'm officially an old fart now that I got that. So Ryan Ballard says he likes Bloyer. I think he means Boyer. Well, that's one fan he's got. I'm not a fan of Clint Boyer. Sorry. I still, every time I hear the name Clint Boyer, I think of that race when he faked the spin, all that team stuff, and it was going to knock Jeff Gordon out, and then they came back and decided to, I don't know, that was just all shady deals. I don't like that kind of stuff. Clyde says they used to sell out Michigan International Speedway. Yeah. And I bet you if you look at a lot of the tracks that NASCAR runs at, that if I paid attention and looked at old footage and then went back and looked now, I bet you'd find that there's where they just take down the stands. That way they can say, well, we got a capacity crowd. Well, yeah, you only got 20,000 worth of stands up. Doug says Indy has suites all around. Yeah. Indy's had its ups and downs, so they've. I still enjoy watching them though. It's part of my Memorial Day tradition that they screwed up last year. Wasn't happy about that. It wasn't so much the price of the ticket; it was the other stuff. Yeah, I remember one time. I'll never forget it because it was my birthday. It was a spring race in Talladega, and I took myself, my son, my daughter, and her, I guess, boyfriend at the time. Bought 4 tickets, went to Talladega. Then after we got there, of course, you got to eat stuff, and then I rented the headsets. It was their first. It wasn't Clint's first time, but it was my daughter's first time. And I thought, well, to really get the experience, let's get the headphones where you can listen. And so I paid for all that. And good Lord, I can't remember how much it was, but it was ridiculous. But good times. Yeah, here Jim's talking about some good times right there. Family campground Talladega. Yeah. You see some crazy stuff walking to and from the track from the park at Talladega, especially after the track, after everybody's been all day getting all liquored up. Yeah. You see some weird stuff. Well, you see it at a lot of those places, but people kind of get at those places and I don't know, they just lose their inhibitions somehow. Doug says you're going to be flooded with additional insurance requests now. Yeah, I already am, Doug. And that might have been what that phone call was. I get between the people wanting to sell me some kind of insurance, the extended car warranty deal, which you know how that guy is. He's uh, annoying. And then here lately, I've been getting a lot of text messages, occasionally an email, but most of the time it's a text message. There's somebody wanting to buy my house. I'm like, well, I'm not here to sell it. I need a place to live. And I got too much junk. I ain't moving nowhere. Pretty close, Janet. Probably more. Oh, I would say it's probably more calmer than the snake pit, but then I don't know. Ask Jim. He probably knows. Jim Jones probably knows. Okay, let's see. What am I missing stuff here? Gary Hammett says, I was working safety crew at Talladega the first time Jeff Gordon was on a super speedway. They were just looking at giving him a chance to drive NASCAR. All right. Well, Jeff Gordon, whether you love him or hate him, he was pretty good. He was pretty good until Jimmy Johnson come along. Then he couldn't win squat, and Jimmy Johnson couldn't lose. But yeah, it does kind of make it boring. That's probably one thing that helped to start the downfall of NASCAR. Is one, there for a while, Jeff Gordon couldn't lose. He was winning everything. And then, when Jimmy Johnson comes on, then he starts winning everything, I don't know. It's just more interesting if they, it's almost like they trim the rules to make it the way they want instead of. Dave Burnett says there are advantages to being an old fart. What everyone else thinks doesn't matter much anymore. Yeah, I've been that way for a long time, even before I was close to being an old fart. I don't care much about what other people think, especially about me. Ryan says, I get the house buying people all the time. Yeah, I don't know what it is about that, but I got a text the other day. I had no idea who it was, and it was saying something about they want to know if I was interested in selling. I said, well, who is this? I don't even know who this is. And then she told me her name, said, oh, I got a client that's interested, and I'm like, I'm not even selling it. Come on. Like I said, I got way too much junk that I've collected over the years. I'm not about to move up and move now. Until Ray and him split, yeah. Yeah, I'd have to agree with that statement right there, Jim Jones. Love him or hate him, when Earnhardt died, so did NASCAR. Yep, I think that's a pretty true statement. And I was not an Earnhardt fan. I was one of those that I'm like, he had the nickname, the Intimidator, and all that, but some of the stuff, you can say what you want. I think it was just downright dirty racing a lot of times. But I'm like, if you can't win racing clean, which I don't know, you can't deny that he was pretty good though. And it just wasn't the same after that. But anyhow, where am I on time here? I still got 2 or 3 minutes left. Oh, I was going to do something. I knew I'd forget. I'm going to try something and see if this works. I got something going on. Oh, yeah, there it works. Okay. I just, for some reason, man, and I've been doing these coffee sessions on this. Let me do this other one and see if it works. Yeah, Okay, those are working. My Stream Deck, I have a button set up where, and it's all timed. I rigged it where it's all on a timer where I can push one button and it'll put. You see these messages from me popping up, but they weren't working, and I thought, why aren't those working? Well, then I had some other buttons that were like before I figured out how to do it all with that one button, and they're working. So I see what it is. I gotta swap that around. But I've been doing this coffee sessions for a long time, and those things haven't been coming through, and I never even noticed it. And then I thought about it the other day, and I'm like, I wonder what happened to those. But anyhow, it's all good. Oh man, got a busy day today. Uh, I may try to catch some of that Bristol Mud Fest when if it's not till 4 o'clock. But I got a bunch of orders to get out, and could it usually I run my machine on Sunday just so that I'm don't have to work that hard on Monday. But I didn't yesterday because of the it wasn't like we had bad storms, but there was some lightning and stuff, and I don't like to run my um, don't like to run my machine when it's lightning and stuff. Doug says, so many background stories that would ruin the image. Gordon actually brought Jimmy to Rick's attention. Earnhardt and Gordon were business partners. Yeah. Yeah. I've heard, I mentioned the other day about the quarter midget racing and stuff. And, that's how Jeff Gordon got started too. In fact, that's how I found out what a quarter midget was, is I saw a documentary about Jeff Gordon and it was talking about that. But then once you got involved in quarter midget racing, and I know I'm probably telling you something you don't know here, but once you got involved and you start talking to some of the people that have been in it a long time, you find out that Jeff Gordon was a pretty dirty quarter midget racer. That's why he won. He would brake check and do all kinds of stuff. That's what I heard anyway. But whatever it takes to get to the top, right? Just step on whoever you got to. But anyhow, well, I'm glad my little buttons are working. I wonder what this one does. I'll probably push one in. Let's see if I did this one. See if that one works. Oh, that one's not working. Okay. All right. Well, I think I know how to fix those others then. All right. Well, there's my timer, which means it's time for me to get busy. Another. I see. I get emails all the time now from these seed companies. They're on to me. Hey, this guy's going to do a garden this year. Let's send him a bunch of stuff. Yeah, crazy. But yeah, my peppers are doing really well. They were kind of puny looking, but now they just take longer than everything else. But all my stuff I got going is still growing under the LED lights, and it's still going to be, somewhere between April 12th and April 26th. So I've still got 2 to 4 weeks before I'm going to put anything out, because I was planning on putting stuff out around, if I go by the almanac, it'll be April 26th. So that's nearly 4 weeks away. But if I can just keep the stuff alive till then, I'm doing good. We're glad y'all's in the house. Good morning, Rick. How you doing? You got here just to see me sign off. Thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate you. And I guess we'll try to come back and do this again tomorrow. So everybody have an awesome Monday, and we'll see you.